Every small business owner has to have a mentor. A mentor is someone who has walked the path before you. So their job, I think, and I've had mentors since I was 17. That was just a few years ago. If you have the intention of becoming an entrepreneur and making money and getting wealthy, then you form your corporation right now. Instead of focusing on what you can't have and the struggles, you focus on what you can have. And so like the illegal conversations I say at home is you don't say what you can't afford, you say, well, how can we afford it? I mean, last I checked, and I always say this kind of funny, but Christopher Columbus did not discover America so we could have jobs. I mean, he discovered it for entrepreneurialism, for freedom, and we have lost it. We lost it from, generations have lost it. It is time to bring spirit back. I mean, that's where the money's made. It's, I want to be a millionaire, and I'm going to change my choices, my way of living, and really get in action around creating that for myself and my life. The traditional financial planning world doesn't work if you really want to be wealthy. The traditional financial planning world is designed that you maybe stay stable. It designs you to make less as you get older. Hi, this is Loral Langemeier, the Millionaire Maker. I want you to follow me on Instagram. Make sure you turn on your post notifications so you get all my messages. What we talk about in the Millionaire Maker is money makeovers and how do you really recreate? Most people are focusing on debt. What we want you to focus on is creating more. I'd say 80% of my coaching that I do one-on-one with folks is about their psychology and the way they think. You know, you can run from creditors, but you can't run from your credit score. You really have to get your money working for you. Most people don't know how to invest. They're investing poorly. They're in single-digit numbers. Millionaires don't do that.
Welcome, everyone. This is Austin. This is Flashpoint. Your turnaround story starts here. But today I'm going to say your financial turnaround story starts right here. We create transformational experiences that lead you to your flashpoint. And today we're going to be talking about that, your finances. Before I get into this show, there's a couple themes we lay in. So the first thing we do is we focus on the hourglass as a reminder that we can't go backwards. We can't go back into the past. What's done is done. And we certainly can't go too far into the future because there's things that we just don't know. So as you step into this show today and we get ready for Loral, I want you to dial into this present moment and make sure you get something today. And the next thing we focus on is the Thomas Edison light bulb as a reminder that you didn't fail. You just successfully created ways that it didn't work. And that might be the case with your finances. And this light bulb came from the Thomas Edison Museum. It is literally a replica of the first light bulb that was in existence for 100 plus years. So use this as a reminder for your flashpoint that if you feel like you're failing financially, that you're successfully creating ways that it doesn't work. But today is going to be different. And then the next thing we focus on is the cowbell, right? The cowbell is a moment where you get a moment of awareness, awaken, something. So type in the word cowbell. We want to highlight those moments throughout the show. So I am going to set this off as I opened it, talking about your financial turnaround story. This is going to be an incredible episode of Flashpoint. We're doing it at a special time. But what I want you to do, I want to say hello to you. I want you to share this, and I want you to get a question ready, a comment, what's happening in your financial world. We're going to talk about things like conversation, gap analysis, sequencing, team. All those things are going to be discussed today. So it's important that you get something, but it's also important that you maybe bring something to the party. Are you with me? So I'm going to check and see if our guest is ready to come on. Loral is in the green room now. She might need a few minutes. So I got a smile and a nod. So she's ready. So you saw the video. Her reputation speaks for herself. But there's a couple things that I want to point out that in my journey, when I started this name kept coming up, Loral Langemeier. And not only did it come up, it was around all these people who had literally turned their finances around. And through a sequencing of events, not only did I get to meet Loral, but I shared the stage with her at James McNeil's event up in iLead. And what an incredible experience. It was the next step in my journey as I migrated from corporate America and I moved into the entrepreneurial journey. And so I know that Loral was divinely appointed to my world to help me evolve, not only as a person, but as an entrepreneur. She's been on CNBC, she's been on Fox, all the major networks, CNN, talking about this very concept of building wealth. So she's been there. She's a 5-time New York Times bestselling author. She is a money expert. She is the real deal. So get your questions ready. But here's what I love. Loral was a single mom about to give birth before all of this happened. So I'm going to dig into her story here. So again, I want you to share it and get your questions ready. But here's what I want you to do for me right now. I want you to show some love for my friend, Loral Langemeier. And Loral, we are so glad to have you with us. He's working.
Hi there.
Loral,
Sorry, how are you? Just chatting.
no apology. I'm so glad you're
you?
with me today. I'm doing fantastic.
Look at, I even have like a butterfly on for you, which means, say yes, figure it out. Big spiritual animal. So super excited to be here, Austin, and excited to and just acknowledge your growth. I mean, becoming an entrepreneur, starting the show, and excited to watch your journey.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
And I have your book right here.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yep.
So this is a really good thing. And we're going to have some great options for you as we move through the show. Loral, I'm going to come at this from a different approach.
All right.
Because you've been in the expert seat for so long and you've served, right? I mean, am I right? Right?
You are correct.
You've earned that.
20 years, at least 25, actually, if you count. 1996 is when I met Robert Kiyosaki, Sharon Lecter, became the master distributor of the game. So from 96 to 2000, also started the financial coaching around that, was the cash flow coach for the organization Rich Dad Poor Dad for a little while, and then started my own 2000. Yeah. And
I'm impressed by I would say the rapidity though of your journey. So I want to go back and I'm going to dig a little bit because I want to find out, Loral, the time that you maybe felt like you either felt like a failure or society thought you were a failure. You were a single mom. You're trying to figure this out, right? Because I want you to go there for me because I want people to realize, I want people to really dial into your story because you've been in the expert seat for so long. Are you willing to share maybe some of those earlier moments when you didn't feel so good and you felt maybe like a failure?
Yeah, but those weren't it. When I got, pregnant with Logan, January 8th, 1999, I did what I've been telling a lot of you to do, which is, get me on board as your mentor and coach. So I called the guy that had been in conversation in real estate, multimillionaire, 20 years my senior. And I said, it's time. And I said, we need to go and be a millionaire. I said, I have 9 months. He said, what's in 9 months? I said, I'm gonna have my son. So that was not a failing moment. That was, I would say it was a more scary moment, like going, it's, oh my God moment, an oh shit moment, you could call them. But it's those times where, you have to dig pretty deep and say, am I going to walk my talk and do what I say, which is say yes and figure this out. And I did. I got on a plane the next day, flew to Oklahoma City, met a team there who then really taught me how to use the asset I had acquired over the last years. Austin was a database. I had 18,000 people in a database from selling cash flow games, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I wasn't just selling his. That was kind of the big branded moment for me. But I would say in addition, not behind, I was also selling things for Bob Proctor, J. Conrad Levinson, which is how I got the Guerrilla Wealth book. I was selling for Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar. So I had actually 18 brands that I was selling because people would play cash flow. And then what's the obvious thing that everyone says after cash flow?
Yes.
How do I do this? So why I'm such a how-to person, as you know, because you're deep in our organization and community, is we have to get down to the nitty-gritty and down to what banking and your entity and your trust and do the documents line. I mean, we're really that how-to team for our clients because most people don't know how to do it. So I was selling a lot of people's stuff And what I had was an asset of a big database when I met the team in Oklahoma. And then they taught me how to structure deals, how to raise capital. And that's really how that journey, and I was a millionaire by June of 1999. And my 34th birthday was kind of my millionaire celebration, and then went on from there.
Was that 6 months, or that wasn't 9 months, right? Was it 6 months?
6 months. It was 6 month millionaire. I got it together. Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. I dropped the F word here because that's what people resonate with, but I appreciate your repositioning of the F word. But a lot of times people feel like a failure. So, right. But so let's put it this way. You felt the pressure of the moment. And the one thing that we hone in here is people proximity. You reached out right away. You felt the pressure. And then there was a major action step that you took. And I think this is really key, because imagine being a single mother, you're going to give birth, you're feeling the pressure. You not only, because like this gentleman helped you for free, right?
No, $28,000.
Right. Bingo.
So there you go. So, and a lot of you say, well, one of the things, but before we leave the F word, right, that big fear word, because I don't use it, I don't resonate with it very much. I don't remember times I lived in that, but I can tell you when society would love to, this thing called the internet, it's the bathroom wall, I call it, where anybody can write anything about you. And there was a time in 2010, 11, 12, right? So what did 8, 9, and 10 create? A lot of foreclosures, a lot of loss. And so people were looking anywhere to make somebody else, wrong or blame them for their real estate moves. And I had outsourced my company to a third party in Utah who was doing sales and fulfillment for me. I ended that relationship because they were just putting people through a mill, and I'm very high touch, as you know. I operate on text with my clients, very personally, unlike a lot of other gurus who you don't have their cell phone. You pay for massive programs. You never have the connection to the direct source. So I changed that, long time ago. 8, 9, and 10 is when I changed it, because I knew if people couldn't find me, Austin, they needed help. I don't know how many clients were in the Florida market, right? Florida was a massive booming market, 6, 7, and 8. Well, Florida is a recourse state, which means you can't just throw in the keys and say, oh, I'm going to foreclosure. That foreclosure is going to follow you, your credit, the loss. So, if it wasn't for the community and our ability to work together to help solve a lot of problems and save millionaires and save their real estate portfolio and help them raise capital, help them just fix whatever they needed fixed, it was a really big deal. So I started giving people my cell phone very frequently. But back to the how I'd say fear because of the attack. This third party, they sold my book, actually, because they had thousands in stock. They short sold my book to some other real estate company in the East Coast, and people were literally blaming me. And they said, and I was caught in a lot of lawsuits. And they said, well, we read your book and we got your book. And I said, you may have got my book, but it wasn't for me. And you're not even in my database. I don't even know who you are. But it costs a lot of money. And some of the stuff that's still, you can go Google deep stuff on the internet. It wasn't it wasn't this company, right? It was somebody who sold my stuff away. So yeah, those are scary moments when, you're in the midst of somebody else's tangle, which is why, I say, own it, control it, keep it tight. But I'd say if you had to put a fear word, when that started coming to me, Austin, lawsuit after lawsuit, it was like, what, who are these people? Like, how is this happening to me? And then, of course, this lovely thing called the internet, and no one ever asked to go take that stuff back down. So how did I handle it? I just spoke to it straight. I speak to it straight now. Those are probably, if I had to put some fear words around times in my life, it's what other people, do to you. But you still have to handle it. It's part of your brand.
Yes. Loral, I want to honor you for that, because a lot of people may find themselves in that spot as they're listening to this video when they get it. And the way, that's where the grace under fire, the way you handled that, and not to retaliate, but your retaliation is in your massive success, right? You're repositioning, learning how the things that you teach, the protection, how to protect yourself and position yourself and sequence things so that you win in the long run, so that when you do get the attacks, you're positioned better to handle them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, I was on a broadcast yesterday, and I think this would be, just given the flashpoint and the context of your show, is, it's got a little bit of a newer conversation, just, spun a little bit differently, is, I say people live their life through, especially now, 2 lenses, right? They live through the eye of yes, and figure it out and look at problems and challenges that they come as, not just opportunities and that cliche stuff, but they look at a problem or look at a challenge and say, all right, I'm going to get my problem solving hat on and I'm going to figure this out. But they're living life through the lens of yes. I think so many people in this COVID, this pandemic, the shutdowns, the damage that has been done to entrepreneurs worldwide. I mean, I shouldn't say it's hard, but it's challenging for a lot of people to live their life through yes, and they live it through no. And unfortunately, you know them and I know them, Austin, they're living their life from almost a position of fear and that no energy, like, saying, yes. But what if something happens? I mean, look what just happened to me. Well, look what happened to the world.
Right.
So and I'm not going to use the thing, we're all in this together, because we're not in this together. We are all in very different places. I approach finances that way. You're different than I'm different than any of the other clients that you've met at the big table. No one's in the same position. To throw us all in one basket is so irresponsible. And, how you live life through the lens of yes or no will determine your success. And I think it's really important to dig into that.
I think it's really important. And you've had the conversations, and you can probably right away, someone's always thinking, can I afford it? And they're going into that reevaluation, but there's that part of them, I need this, I want this, yeah. But they make reasons as to why they can't move forward.
Yeah.
And, it's learning to operate, like you said in the video, right? It's how can we afford this? Or how can we create the resources to make this happen if we know that we need it? Yep,
absolutely. And for a lot of you, I just want to address the, because money is my conversation. My promise is a 3 to 5 year millionaire, and there's a blueprint to it. You've got to learn to make money. Even if you have a job, you still have to do, what walk through, Austin, is becoming an entrepreneur. And that's just a journey in itself. But then you still have to keep it. You have to do entities, trust, insurance, all that has to happen. And then you're going to have to create money rules on how to invest your money and not just park it with financial institutes and pray it's going to happen. So there is a blueprint to becoming a millionaire. There's a way to do it. But to walk that path alone, I would ask why. You don't do most things alone. Everybody's, works with a team, or you should be working with a team to have that happen. But I want to go back to one of the comments you made, which is a huge objection, not only to people working with me, which I have an amazing, marketplace offer for your folks today. But it's also just in general, when people say they can't afford it, they're living their life typically through their checkbook balance. And if you're looking at your checkbook, right, day after day saying, can I afford it based on my checkbook balance, you're never going to transition. The way you need to live life is through a P&L and a balance sheet. So when you can make 5, 10, 15, 20,000 a month, and you can count on that because you've proven that success, you're making financial decisions based on, I can make more money. Like, I was selling enough cash flow games. I was selling financial coaching in 1999. So could I afford 28,000? Not in that exact moment, but that's why you use credit cards. It's good debt. I was paying tuition for something I was going to learn. As long as I do the work and ROI it, which I did right away, that 28,000 was nothing to spend that day. And I knew from future P&Ls, right, from profits and what I knew my revenue could be, that I would make it back. And I think so many people shortcut their life by living their life through their checkbook balance. And it's the wrong indicator. That's not how you make decisions.
The other thing that I think is really key, and we call it people proximity here, is sometimes it's pay for people proximity. But what if you didn't make that call? What if you didn't invest that money? Where would you be?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right at that moment, I was in the Rich Dad Poor Dad camp. Obviously, I had lent myself to a lot of other amazing A-listers. I wouldn't have been a millionaire in real estate in 6 months, I can tell you that. Like, because the moves that we made, the kind of capital and good debt and the fund we put together and how we did it, I wouldn't have known enough or had enough experience, because we did it in a variety of fashions. We did a lot of just buy and hold, typical, small, like single family to duplexes, fourplexes. We bought some really big, I remember 178 units we bought in rehab.
Wow.
And then we actually bought a street in Oklahoma City, 5, 6 houses all along a really, crappy area, but it was up and coming. We bought the street and we rehab. So we had so many strategies going because of the experience of this team that I joined. I don't know where I would have ended up somewhere because I just lived life through, you know, that lens of yes, and I'm going to figure it out.
Right.
But I wouldn't, I don't think, I don't know. I don't know another
question.
That would have made me a 6-month millionaire. I mean, it happened so fast.
And I want to validate, I have my phone here. This happened because of text messages between Loral and myself and her team, because you are accessible. It's amazing how much you pour out and how accessible you are to other people. Mandy's asking, could you repeat what you said about not working with a checkbook? Do you remember that?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So when you operate looking at your checkbook balance, not that that's not an indicator of, you know, money coming and going, and I actually, you know, have a great cash flow statement form that I have my clients use that actually is money coming in, money projected to go out that week. And a lot of you, again, you're paying bills, you're spending money wrong too. But on the make money side, if you're looking at your checkbook balance and saying, can I afford it based on that balance today? I mean, if it's the first of the month, you probably had, you know, a payment made towards rent or your mortgage, or it's going to happen in the first 5 days of the month. I mean, so if you're making a decision then versus you make it on the 14th or 15th when you get your next paycheck, you're making very different decisions. It's a horrible way to make any financial decisions. You should be making it on a P&L and balance sheet. Meaning, what is the, you know, the projected profits, the projected revenue that's coming in based on my revenue model. And if you don't know what a revenue model is, I do a marketplace. We're going to introduce you to this. Austin's been to it. We do it now every 3 weeks since COVID hit. We were the first to market April 14th in 2020. We came out and said, what's the number one thing I know how to do to help anyone in the world? It's help you make money. And I can help you do it in a few hours. You have to do exactly what I say. And then we're going to build it into a bigger revenue model. I mean, part of this show is what you built in and out around, you know, coming to us originally. And now, you know, you're continuing to build the revenue. And then with the money, the difference is you're not just making, spending. You're putting some money away.
Yes.
And then properly spending back into your company. So many new entrepreneurs make that mistake, Austin. They all their money's put back into their company. Years later, because you don't break that pattern, you wonder why you don't have money put away and there's no compounding power in your life. And it's because you didn't put enough money away when you're younger. And we're huge pattern interrupters for a lot of you that need a pattern interrupt. Restructure how you're making money, how you're spending it, how you're investing it, how you're handling your debt. And it's a very integrated plan.
Yes, and you're the CEO of Integrated Wealth Systems. So it's a system that makes this happen. Loral, I'm going to share something here. It's a little bit of a surprise, but this was at one of your live events that I happened to catch up with you with. Now, I'm going to apologize for the audio, but we have the transcription, so you can get at least a feel. So let me cut to this real quick, and then we'll come back.
Look at this. All right.
I'm learning how to be an entrepreneur, and I chose to be here because of what this brings to the big table.
Because you guys, you can see the big table. Most of you live at the little tables. You wait for someone to invite you, someone to say it's okay to move. Move. Do something you want for your life. You'll always make money. You'll always have great friends, great community, and great success. Yeah. But the community is because we care about each other. We stay in our lane, we do what we do, and we do it to support each other. And when you know how to do that, a joint venture, and everyone is making money and thriving from it, it's like the best thing.
So there you go. You know where that was, right?
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, that was at the big table. That was just recently too.
Yeah. During tough times, we did a do, and you made it happen, and we had a great out. You had a great turnout, great event. I want to shift gears before we close out.
Yep.
The person, and by the way, we're about to crest 10,000 views on all platforms. So I'm asking for your help. Please share this. Yeah. And that's 16 minute views, 16 minutes or more. So I'm asking you to please share this. But Loral, I want to ask you this. Someone comes across this video. They're in debt. They're not making enough money. They want to change their job or their career.
Yeah.
And they're wondering what to do. They're thinking, I got to pay off this debt. I got to pay. So you're already shaking your head. Good. This is right on cue. So talk to me.
It's the wrong thing to do. So, you know, there's the teaching of, you know, Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman and Dave Bach. And by the way, they're not promising this, just to their credit, right? They are very secure stay in your box, keep your job, stay out of debt. And I've had some of those conversations, said, why not be an entrepreneur? I mean, and it's like, well, people are lazy, they can't do it. Only a few people make it as an entrepreneur. Well, I don't believe that. I believe anyone can be an entrepreneur. Some of us are going to be better entrepreneurs than others, which means then get more team to surround yourself, with the, I always say strengthen your strengths and hire your weaknesses. So if you have a lot of weaknesses in the entrepreneur area, then you just hire those people and you partner with them to be in your company. So I absolutely have more credibility and belief and faith in people that they can perform. I'll say that as a context. But getting out of debt is not the first agenda. The only reason you're in debt, let's just talk practically about it, common sense, is you outlived your paycheck. So you put the rest of the life you wanted to live on a credit card. And then over and over, month after month, you find yourself in a lot of debt. Yes. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. I would never, ever tell you, as Austin knows, to tell you to live within your means. I would never tell you that. I would say grow your ability to make more money. So instead of having a fixed job, which, by the way, if you want to do any strategies we teach, you do need to be incorporated. You do need to have a company so you can do legal deductions. Yes. In America, you have 81,000 pages of tax code. You get to do deductions against that income. And I would absolutely, teach you how to have your own company, how to do whatever you are great at, whatever your gift and talent is. And if you don't have something, I have a game that's right behind me on that board. You can be an affiliate. You can sell my game like I sold Kiyosaki's. That's how I got kind of a start in entrepreneurialism. Or actually, I started a long time ago, but I got a really great training through it. And then you could do direct sales. You can sell lotions, potions. You can sell the CBD. You can sell whatever, there's another little product you can sell. So you're going to have to sell, the way you're going to make more money is you got to do what I call the 21st century lemonade stand. You got to buy and sell, right? Or you're going to actually be selling products and services to other people who want them. So that's what really leads us to the marketplace. But as far as getting out of debt, that is not the first thing to be concerned about. That is not the problem. Isn't that you're in debt. The problem is you don't know how to make money. So I start solving the right problem. I'm going to teach you how to make money, which is my biggest thing I do. I teach you how to create new cash, how to build a business funnel. And then I have other team members who will teach you how to keep it, get incorporated, get business credit, get your credit. And then other folks who will teach you how to invest. In fact, the third book in The Millionaire Maker is the education of how to start investing off Wall Street if you so choose to do that kind of education. We don't do it for you. We're not financial planners. We're not going to invest for you. But we're going to get you on the road to making money. And as you learn later that good debt is some of the most extraordinary moves for you to become a multimillionaire.
Hold on, that's a cowbell moment.
It's a huge
good
one.
Debt, knowing the difference, right?
Yeah, and good debt and bad debt are very different, and how to use them is part of your journey in learning money. But I think most people that are listening, I don't care which platform you're on, across all platforms. I have a brand new YouTube channel. I've just relaunched my podcast. I did my 100th podcast series. I have a new book coming out on how to make your kids millionaires. I got so much going on. But what I find across most walks of life in most continents is they need to learn to make money, not with a job, but as an entrepreneur. So that's why the marketplace is so critical for people to start.
Yeah, and it's called the cash machine. That in your book, it's called the cash machine. Yep. Producing that cash. And we're all working on that. Loral, before we get to your flashpoint moment, I'm going to give you a moment. That moment when you felt like, I got it, right? I want to share what's happening this weekend.
I'm going to say one of those top moments. Any flashpoint moment? Do you care which one I pick? I got a lot of them.
Well, I want to share your event first because I want to. Yeah. So I'm excited because this weekend you're running the marketplace again. Yep. And hard to put into words. I've been a part of it many times. It's not only like an educational on rocket ship. We'll use the term rocket because it's applicable today. It's getting information in rocket speed with the ability to work on your cash machine now. Not Absolutely. To go to an event, not to pay thousands of dollars to go to an event and you sit there and you get excited, you leave and you don't know what to do. You're going to learn and you're going to be in cash making mode right away. So I just want you to speak to that. I'm going to share the link and then we're going to get to your flashpoint moment.
Absolutely. And if you go to askloral.com/flashpoint, you will get a very special deal on the marketplace tickets. So the marketplace is literally that. It's a place where you're going to bring your business. If you don't have one, we have coaching that will get you ready, and you will have something to sell. Even if you sell someone else's stuff, which is what I have done for years, it's fine to sell someone else's stuff. We'll get you something to sell. You can sell Austin's stuff, you can sell my stuff, you can sell whoever stuff you want. But the entrepreneurial venture starts with marketing, right, which is generating leads, selling, which is creating the cash, and then learning about cash flow. So during the marketplace, we literally, it's 13 hours. So instead of saying 2 days anymore, Austin, because some people go, oh my gosh, it's 2 days, it's too long. It's this Thursday from 10 to 6, and then Friday 10 to 3. Every 3 weeks we do them. So as this airs,
Pacific time, right? That's Pacific time.
Right?
Pacific time. Yes. 10
to 6 Pacific, and then 10 to 3. Now, you are welcome, and graduates will join you at 3 o'clock, and we continue through the afternoon on Friday. We continue on Saturday. We continue Sunday, because the truth is the marketplace is open. It is always open. It is always available. You have to be the one to show up and be ready to make deals and to provide offers and to serve somebody. So I teach a process called Ask Till Ask, which is how to ask somebody, like my talk track when I meet somebody and they'll say, so what do you do? And I said, I teach people about money. And I'll say, so what's one thing I could help you with today? What's one conversation you need help with money? I get right into how to help somebody else. They'll tell me, right, I'm asking, then they're going to tell me how they need help. And I'm going to tell them back how I could solve that problem, whether it's get a book, get a game, come to the marketplace, actually get some one-on-one coaching, whatever it is. And then I'm going to ask for the cash. So I teach a very service-based process, and you're guaranteed to make money if you stay and do everything we say. So now, with this new, virtual world we're in, Austin, it's very different than the live events, as you know, because I would be right there. I'd be whispering in your ear and I'd be telling you what to say. So it's a little, different because we're on Zoom, but I can tell you, we've had people making, on average person who totally participates will make 500 to 2,500. And how much did you make?
I was over 1,000, and I've made a lot. Actually, to full transparency, I've made a lot more than that as a result of the marketplace. If that makes sense, because of the relationships, right? So, Laurel, I just want to get this link. It's asklaurel.com/flashpoint.
Yep. Okay. And you go out, you will get a copy of my Millionaire Maker book. Read 1, 2, and 3, the first 3 chapters. Come to the marketplace. We do every 3 weeks, so you have absolutely no excuse on time and say I have something booked. So, just click on. Our team will call you once you signed up. If you can't go to the first date, they'll read off our calendar. Every 3 weeks we do it. September 9th and 10th. Given our broadcast dates, will be the next one. Yes. We'll be right on one probably when we go live on this broadcast. And if you're listening to it, because I know I'm going to put this back up on my lorallangemeier.com site, I want to, acknowledge you and put you up on my site, Austin.
Thank you.
So whenever you're listening or hearing this, just get to the next event and go to Austin's link.
And I will be there, but I will be in as a graduate. I've been bestowed the graduate, which I'm excited to be there again. And I've talked to my team and my clients about joining in the marketplace as well, because I know the power of it at any stage of your entrepreneurial journey. So, Laurel, your flashpoint moment, and then we're going to close this out. And you got to be on another. Are they able to attend the show today? Or is that?
Yeah, absolutely. 12 noon every Tuesday, I do an Ask Laurel Market Awareness. So
I'll share that. Yep.
Yeah, we're going to update every 12 noon on Tuesday. I'm live answering questions and giving you an update on what's going on in the market. Absolutely.
I'm going to share that link. So be looking for that. That's today at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. Okay, Laurel, your flashpoint moment, the moment when it's like that moment when you felt, you probably felt that before you got it, but either way, the flashpoint is yours. So when was your flashpoint?
There's a lot, but the one that always comes to mind is January 21st, 2006, when I hit #1. I hit the bestseller list with The Millionaire Maker. So when this book hit the New York Times list, and it hit 10 other bestsellers, it hit the Wall Street Journal, it hit, I was in Forbes, I was USA Today, I was Publishers Weekly. So that day was like I arrived moment. And then right behind it came The Secret, Dr. Phil. I mean, it was just like 2006 was just this runaway train of amazing blessings, success, whatever you want to call it. It was an amazing time, and the birth year of my daughter.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So everyone, Loral, I want to thank you for bestowing us this time and pouring out as you always do. And I just wanted to say it this way: people proximity, get to the marketplace. You know, I'm connected with Loral. Get in my ethos, get in Loral's ethos. If you make that step, the people proximity, and you get in our ethos, the rest of the things will start to unfold for you. I absolutely guarantee it. I've seen it too many times to believe otherwise. Loral, final words before we say goodbye today.
Live life through the lens of yes, right? When you see opportunities, instead of, creating every contingency, but what if, and what if I don't know how? None of that matters, right? So get a mentor. Love to help you, love to support you, love to give you my cell phone so we can be texting, moving you along, making money number one, keeping it, investing it, learning the whole process of how this isn't a program you sign up when you hang out with me. You create a lifestyle of how do you live like this, and live life through the energy of yes. And we'll help you figure it out.
Thank you, Loral. My name's Austin. This is Flashpoint. Your financial turnaround story may have just started right now. We create transformational experiences that lead you to your Flashpoint. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Austin.
Every small business owner has to have a mentor. A mentor is someone who has walked the path before you. So their job, I think, and I've had mentors since I was 17. That was just a few years ago. If you have the intention of becoming an entrepreneur and making money and getting wealthy, then you form your corporation right now. Instead of focusing on what you can't have and the struggles, you focus on what you can have. And so like the illegal conversations I say at home is you don't say what you can't afford, you say, well, how can we afford it? I mean, last I checked, and I always say this kind of funny, but Christopher Columbus did not discover America so we could have jobs. I mean, he discovered it for entrepreneurialism, for freedom, and we have lost it. We lost it from, generations have lost it. It is time to bring spirit back. I mean, that's where the money's made. It's, I want to be a millionaire, and I'm going to change my choices, my way of living, and really get in action around creating that for myself and my life. The traditional financial planning world doesn't work if you really want to be wealthy. The traditional financial planning world is designed that you maybe stay stable. It designs you to make less as you get older. Hi, this is Loral Langemeier, the Millionaire Maker. I want you to follow me on Instagram. Make sure you turn on your post notifications so you get all my messages. What we talk about in the Millionaire Maker is money makeovers and how do you really recreate. Most people are focusing on debt. What we want you to focus on is creating more. I'd say 80% of my coaching that I do one-on-one with folks is about their psychology and the way they think. You can run from creditors, but you can't run from your credit score. You really have to get your money working for you. Most people don't know how to invest. They're investing poorly. They're in single-digit numbers. Millionaires don't do that.
All right, everyone. Bye for now. I'll see you later. This show will be re-aired, so look for that. We will re-air it on one of the Flashpoint Fridays. Not this Friday, but the following Friday, we're going to re-air this. Thanks for being here, everyone. Bye for now.